sized and have 3 or 4 cylinder engines no bigger than 660 cc's. Sounds like the Japanese fun police have had their way, doesn't it? Absolutely not, if these 3 are anything to go by. These K-Class cars must measure no more than 3¼ meters long by 1.5 meters wide. They're so small, in fact, you could virtually park one in the back of a Ford Transit van. So to the Dangan, or Bullet, the most practical of the micro cars. Functional on the outside, but underneath that bumblebee exterior lies a serious sting. The car's engineering makes the British Mini look Jurassic. Despite the external dimensions, there's still plenty of room for 4 to potter around in comfort. It's a tall little car, which you might think would lead to a lot of body roll when cornering, but with permanent 4-wheel drive underneath, it sticks to the corners like a boiled sweet to a blanket. The Dangan isn't a caricature, it's a serious stab at a town vehicle, and it works. Fancy an off-roader instead? Well, here it is, shrunk to perfection by Mitsubishi, but jam-packed with all the features you'd expect on the full-size version. This is a halfway house between a Tonka toy and the real thing. The Mini Shogun has to be the cheekiest of the trio. It raises more than 2 fingers at the urban farmers, and with its pint-sized profile, it draws a standing ovation from the curbside. What the Japanese did for the personal stereo, they've done for this car. Put a full-size Shogun in the hot wash and it will come out looking like this. 44,000 of these were sold in its first month of being on sale in Japan, wildly outselling the full-size version both there and in Britain. The Japanese have really taken this car to their hearts, even though there's not a lot of off-roading going on in downtown Tokyo. But if you really want to prove small is beautiful, the Suzuki Cappuccino is the one to do it in. It's a tiny 2-seater sports car some see as the natural successor to the classic MG Midget. And incidentally, it's the only one of the 3 you can buy here in the UK. The Dangan and Mini Shogun must be personally imported. Well, this is certainly the antithesis of all those hairy-chested sports cars. This is Machismo for the educated enthusiast. It's got rear-wheel drive, a turbocharged engine, and a really weird kind of offbeat sex appeal. It's a horrible cliche, I know, but it still feels like a go-kart. The steering is absolutely superb, pin sharp. The engine, well, it just revs and revs, goes to 8,500. It's perfect for darting around town. In these narrow streets, you can place it really accurately, and parking's a doddle. Although the Cappuccino meets all the current safety regulations, you still feel very small and very vulnerable down here. Driving in traffic, you're always aware of vans coming up close to you, and lorries are a real no-no. So what about it? Are these microcars serious town transport, or just a bit of fluff? Well, they're okay for high days, holidays, and as second cars. But you better get used to people looking down at you.